Hello, everybody. My name is Pamela Sanchez. I'm from Mexico, and I'm part of the International Committee Coordination for Solidarity and for the Freedom of the Political Prisoners, Mexico's base. First place, I want to thank you for the invitation to participate in this symposium. Also, we want to thank very much the solidarity of those who supported us to come here to Athens. Also, I bring you warm greetings from the International Coordination Committee of Solidarity and for the Freedom of Political Prisoners. We think in our analysis, we think that the US imperialism is preparing a third world war with bipolarity developing with China. And for this reason, they are preparing their forces, their military forces and economical and political forces. For this purpose, in our continent, NATO has 72 bases and quasi-bases in Latin America with 7,000 men. For example, in 2019, they organized a coup d'etat in Bolivia against the government of Evo Morales. And also they have been preparing and participating in military interventions in Venezuela. And also they are making an intervention in Peru, for example, and they are using all their organizations, for example, the Organization of America's States, and they are promoting the reactionarization of the states with legal and political persecution in all of our country. For example, they are making laws to disappear the bodies of the communists who have been killed by them. No? For example, in the Peruvian case is very, very awful because the Peruvian state approved a law to disappear the body of Dr. Abimael Guzman Reynoso. They killed him in the prison, and then they approved this law to disappear his body. Also, the Yankee government, they have been intervened directly and together with the admirals of Navy, also to make detentions, to make investigations, and they have been declared that the enemy of the US imperialism are the communists and revolutionaries. And we think that all these things are part of the preparatives of the Third World War. For example, in Mexico, in my country, maybe you remember that in 2014 was a very big disappearation of the 43 students from Ayotzinapa. Now we know that the FBI and the CIA and the DEA, they were in Mexico also participating in the disappearance of our students' comrades. DEA has like 8 million of communications, for example, SMS and WhatsApps and callings from the organized crime and also governments and also military forces when they were making the desaparition of the 43 students of Ayotzinapa. Also, we know that in the manual of the 6th US Military Command, for example, it says that they seek the elimination, there is a word they use, elimination of the opposing social organizations, and they have been working to achieve this objective. Also, we want to denounce that they use the national governments to participate in our political life. For example, in a specific case of Mexico, we have a very big problem because we are very solidarity with the Peruvian case, and one of our comrades, she's a lawyer, her name is Gabriela Rodriguez. She shared some publications in Facebook and make some likes in Facebook and that kind of stuff. So the judicial authorities of Peru, they called her to a judge, and they say that she has been promoting terrorism. She's Mexican and she lives in Mexico, and she has been persecuted by the Peruvians authorities. When she stayed at the appeal, the Peruvian authorities said, asked her address and her complete name and all. She didn't give them. So the response of the Peruvian authorities was, we are going to ask for your address to our colleagues. And we know that their colleagues is the DEA, because the DEA is the only authority can knows where does she live and where is she. Because now the government, the Mexican laws protect us as Mexican citizens. So they are not going to give to the Peruvian authorities the address or her name or everything. We are very concerned about all of this persecution, because we think that the country where is worst is Peru. As I said, with this law of disappearance of the body of Dr. Abimael Guzman Reynoso, only his wife, the teacher Elena Iparraguirre, was the first person to denounce the assassination of Dr. Abimael Guzman. So the Peruvian authorities also punished her. She's in prison since 1992, and they are punishing her inside the prison. So we know that in Latin America and all over the world, we are very concerned, because we are afraid for the life of the teacher Elena Iparraguirre. And also another thing I want to say is that in Mexico we have a very, very important historical memory, and we know that that the people all over the world needs to recognize our own history. For example, in Mexico, the Communist Party was founded in 1919. It has 103 years old. And we recognize that history because it's important to know what the communists before us did to fight against imperialism and to fight against bourgeoisie and against capitalism. We recognize that the first moment in the communist history that the proletariat take the power was in Russia in 1917. And then was a very important step with Chairman Mao Zedong. And also we recognize the Dr. Abimael Guzman Reynoso. What did he apport to the proletariat ideology? So we think that we need to recognize this history of the proletariat and the communist history to have better tools to fight against capitalism and to fight against imperialism. And also we want to join to the solidarity and we also denounce the situation of other political prisoners in the world. For example, we have been denounced the situation of the 11 comrades in prison here in Greece. Also, we have been denounced the situation of the Turkish prisoners, the Kurds prisoners, the Basques, the Palestinians, and we know that they have been attacked and forced to die in terrible prisons. We think that it's necessary to join to fight for the freedom of the political prisoners, and also to they get better conditions in the prisons, because we know that, for example, we know that Ibrahim Abdallah or Ochalante are in total isolation. Also, that happens with our political prisoners, and we know there is a form of torture, and we know that we need to improve the condition of the political prisoners. For this reason, we propose and request the solidarity of this symposium to jointly sign 2 specific declarations. That is one of our proposals, and another demanding the end of the persecution against our colleague, our comrade, Gabriela Rodriguez. We want to make a declaration, and if the symposium can sign it, we will thank you very much. And also we want to express our solidarity with the Turkish and Palestinian political prisoners and all those who fight against imperialism and capitalism. Freedom for the political prisoners. Out NATO and Yankee bases of Latin America. Down with the genocidal plan of Yankee imperialism and the ultra-right in Latin America. Let us defend the life of the teacher Elena Iparraguirre and our comrade Gabriela Jimenez. Thank you very much.